Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Leading Daily. I'm your leadership coach and host, Quincy Jackson, and I'm thrilled as always to be here with you on another exciting episode of Leading Daily, where we bring you the fundamental principles and skills, foundational skills that you need to develop yourself as an outstanding leader. So, we're going to give you some wisdom today. My goal with this particular video is to really get you to think about your uniqueness, what you've been put on this planet to do, go out and execute and add value to the people around you. Not only will that help you increase your influence and help you have greater impact, but that will also help you increase your income. So today we're going to be talking about your niche. What is it that you are meant to do on this planet? Now, I know that's a big subject for a lot of people. It ties into their purpose, why they were born, their calling, so many different things that people call it nowadays. But what we're going to just talk about and call it is your unique niche. And what you're going to find is that there's a way for you to fulfill this within your job. And currently, if you feel like it's not there, then you probably just aren't looking very closely enough and probably passing the opportunities right by. And if there is no way for you to fulfill it in your current job, then that means that you probably need to start doing a couple of things that we're going to talk about so that you can put yourself in a position to actually fulfill your uniqueness on this planet. So as you fulfill your responsibilities, ask yourself, do you think about where you are and is there no other place around you just like it? I know I've been in environments like that before. I've left those environments to sometimes find those in other places. And I'll be the first to tell you that it took me many years to find something even closely similar to many places that I've worked before. For example, I worked in a financial services office fresh out of college, and all they did was talk about personal development, reading books, attending seminars, understanding skill sets about sales, leadership, overcoming objections, all those different core components that you need to be a leader and a salesperson in today's world, and also many years ago. But ask yourself, if you don't have an environment that's like that right now, how is your environment you're currently in adding value to you? And I hope that you can say in more than just one or two ways. And if you can't, then it's probably a good opportunity if you're watching this video for you to start to think about making a shift into something that's more closely tied to your uniqueness. Okay. But let's say you are in a current environment that does that for you right now, but you're not yet getting the results. Maybe from a monetary standpoint, maybe you're not yet influencing and leading people or the amount of people that you want to be leading. Just stay the course, because if you do the right things long enough, inevitably you will be successful. And that's what we're talking about today. So if you know what your niche is, but you aren't working on it, you should start planning a transition. And that's what we're going to talk about for the next couple of minutes. Now, you can see this video is not very long, so I want you to stay with me. Don't tune out. Don't hit the stop button. Don't hit the pause button. Just stay with me for a few moments, okay? Because doing what I'm actually about to tell you to do and what I'm telling you to do could be as simple as a change in maybe a position, a change in your duties, or it could be as complex as a change in your career. But only you can decide what that change looks like. And then the first question a lot of people want to ask is, well, how long did it take? Well, it can take as little as 6 weeks, or it can take as long as 6 years. But no matter how long it takes, you need a transition plan and a timetable for completing it. So what you'll find is that about 90 to 95% of people on the planet, and especially in our amazing country of the United States, they always talk a good game, but they never execute an idea with a plan that is meaningful to them. Okay, very few people have a constant plan for organizing, gathering, and clarifying data, whether it's through books, seminars, or just their own experience. And what you want to be is watching this video is one of the very few. So once you're certain of whatever course that you want to take in life, or from this point going forward, so that you can transition into what you know is your uniqueness on this planet, This is what you have to have the courage to do. You ready? Take the first step. Let's say you have no idea what you should be doing. Start with some research. Research what it is that you like and what it is that you can do that adds value to other people, that maybe there's a void there and you can fill that void. I've heard somebody say once before that if you can find a problem that people have and develop a solution to solve that problem, then people will pay you for it. Now, it may take a little time because you need to develop case studies and experience of doing it at a high level and fine tuning your process and your system for doing that thing. But there's people that will pay you for it. Maybe you want to talk to your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, close friends about your strengths and weaknesses. Now, for some people, this isn't necessary because they know themselves, but most people don't. Ask the leader in your life for an assessment, or you can even take a personality or a temperament test. I've done a couple of those in my life as well. You can fill out a couple of questions or answer a few questions, and it'll tell you based on your also habitual response to those questions what you're more like than other personalities, so that you can adapt and find things that are very unique to you in that way. You also want to look for recurring themes in your life and then try to articulate what your life purpose is. Now you say, well, Quincy, I thought this was about leadership. I thought this was about principles and foundations and wisdom. It is, if you're really paying attention and you're listening, okay? Because what we're talking about, we're not talking about just only who you manage, how you manage them, and why you manage them. We're talking about making sure you're doing things that give you energy, so it almost feels like you never want to stop doing it at all, okay? So let's go over a few last little points. So here we got, do what it takes. Okay, listen to me very closely. Do what it takes to discover clues concerning where you should be. A lot of people have said before to me, like, I don't really like to read books because I'm not going to pay somebody else to tell me what I'm going to learn on my own anyway. Ridiculous thought of habit, if you will. Most ridiculous thought of habit. Books always give you understanding and clarity about subjects that other people have already experienced. Now, you got to read the right kind of books, but depending on who you are and where you want to go and what you're trying to do, you need to make a decision on what those books should be and then follow through in getting the information that those books contain. You also want to try new things related to your discoveries that you're going to come across as you go through this process. Okay. So for me, I'll give you a quick example. I had very little confidence in myself to do things that were outside of my comfort zone. And I realized that a lot of people do. One thing that I realized is that if I could overcome my fear of speaking, whether it's on camera or in front of a group of people, for sure, which I love doing. I love speaking in front of a group of people because it's the opportunity for me to really see what I'm made of first and foremost, but also to show people how I can add value to them. All that said, I decided to join a group called Toastmasters to develop myself in that area, and I got way more out of it than just developing the confidence to speak in front of people. But you're only going to do that when you do research and figure out what it is that you want to deliver or value you want to deliver to those based on your uniqueness. And people had told me my voice was pretty cool and it sounded very good over the speaker or over the telephone and things like that. Although I didn't really like that about myself, the feedback I got from people around me told me that I needed to be so on my purpose that I'm off myself. And that's a little nugget of wisdom for you right there. Okay. So the only way to really find your niche is to gain experience. Okay. You have to be willing to try things, and you'll know whether or not it's something that you want to spend a significant amount of time developing your skill set in. Okay. So first of all, do some research, get some experience, and let that determine how much time and dedication you should spend toward that thing, whatever it is. Okay. And lastly, if you haven't already begun to work in your niche, or if you haven't already found what your niche is, you want to make sure you start looking and then grow within it almost immediately. Okay. You always know you're growing in a direction that's going to be better for you. Obviously, if it's positive and it's something that you can develop and do when you're most uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, that means you probably know all that you want to know or need to know to be as successful as you can be and want to be currently. But who you are currently is not going to help you get the results, get the influence, and also get the impact that maybe the person inside of you who wants to come out can actually obtain. So, yes, you have to be willing to give. Yes, you have to be willing to grow. But ultimately, the universe works in such a way that all that you give to others and more will probably come back to you more ways than you can imagine. So this is your leadership coach, Quincy Jackson here. I hope you got a lot from this video. I know I got a lot from making it for you. And it is my sincere intention and hope that you got value from this to not only go out and start taking action to find your niche if you haven't already done so, but you are working on it to develop it and growing stronger so that you can serve people at a higher level, whether you're in that position now or you desire to be in that position in the future. Go out today, continue to take action, and we'll see you in the next video. This is Quincy Jackson, and thank you.